Hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Tomb Raider 4 Remastered. This is 115 speaking, and I would very much like to welcome you to the dreaded Trenches. Trenches are the kind of place where no one ever wants to find themselves in. So, in today's dip through the level, and in today's video there will be two, and we'll leave the third and final one for a later video, we are gonna get our hands on 13 goodies, raising the total pickups count to 457. We are also gonna obliterate 12 enemies, however 3 of these are turrets, so you know what that means. Only 9 of them are gonna count to the total of 264. There are no secrets in the Trenches level, and when it comes to breakable objects, you could see the mess in the sort of scrolling text at the beginning of the video. There's plenty to think about across all visits through the Trenches, but as far as the Oops achievement is concerned, there's only 2 breakable vessels, and we're gonna take care of that in today's first visit through the Trenches. Talking about the achievements, I already said this, there are turrets here. There are 3 remaining turrets out of the total of 7 in Cairo. Destroying these will net us the security breach achievement. And finally, we are gonna unlock one more achievement called With Khepri's Help, made somewhat easier in the remasters, given we can now crawl somersault. However, I still wouldn't call it easy. Nevertheless, in case you guys are wondering, Khepri is a dung beetle god. A dung beetle that rolls the sun across the sky each morning. It's such a cute concept, I don't know, I have a soft spot for Khepri, and he also makes for an excellent boss fight in the Temple of Osiris game, soundtrack of which you can hear in these sort of statistic screens I'm playing. Anyway guys, I digress. I would like to welcome you to the Trenches. Please get your shotgun ready if you're interested in bagging all the in-game kills, because driving over enemies is still a big no-no and probably will never get fixed. That was one, and around the corner is another. Ooh, I love it when Lara sprint slides and shoots an enemy dead. So I'd like to explain a couple of things. Our destination is to get ourselves up here, climb the ladder, and enter the Street Bazaar level. But that is easier shown than actually done. The only way we can really get here is via our bike. For that, we need to open the wooden panel over here. And you know what's the way to open the wooden panel? Let me give you a hint. It's just gonna take a while to fly there with the camera mode. To do that, we'll need to get up here and shoot this fuse box. What's worse, if you actually do it, the game doesn't even have the decency to show you that the wooden panel has been lifted, but that's what we need to do across the rooftop over here. Oh yeah, and mind the Egyptian soldier over here. He's gonna be a bit of a nuisance, but we're gonna take care of him differently. Furthermore, it's not necessary if you're really good, but it helps to have the bike upgraded for the jump across the wooden panel. Okay guys? So, all things in their due time. We are gonna leave the bike completely alone. For now, I would very much like to take care of the gentleman on that rooftop. And my recording setup is so bad, I don't even see my keyboard. I should probably do something about that. Okay, we have the laser sight attached. Oh, but this bastard likes to hide, which doesn't help us with poisoning. Yay! I could see a blood splatter. Okay. Consider yourself poisoned, you annoying bastard. Anywho. Whilst he's taking damage, let's go back to the beginning. This area, I don't know why, visually really appeals to me. It's the lights, it's the edges of the road, it's the palm tree, something about it just really gets to me. There is very easy to miss Uzi pickups here. And also, whilst we have the crossbow equipped, let's switch to normal. I advise you to take care of this shimmying obstacle over here. We are soon gonna find ourselves here, and the last thing you wanna do is to have to go all the way back just to get rid of this thing. Okay, so there's another breakable object in the back. And by now, I think that soldier should have taken enough damage that a single shot from a pistol should take care of him. Okay, Miss Croft. Yay, and let's just make absolutely sure. I'm always a bit paranoid if I can't see something. There we go, there's the corpse already disappearing. And now we don't really get a vantage point to shoot this thing until later on, but there is a massive skip you can do in this level, which I'm absolutely gonna show you. Oh, interesting, but we cannot climb it. Anywho guys, very easy to miss, but there's a corner with a large medbag if I'm not mistaken. Exactly. And even easier to miss, but needed to continue, is the trapdoor over here. with a very ominous light coming from behind the door over here. We can see a pile of crates there. It's like someone barricaded themselves in, which I find really interesting detail. There was absolutely nothing in the original. Again, the remasters have pulled off outstanding job making this feel like a lived-in place. Now, this can get really dark, especially in the OGs, but there are, I believe, poisonous crossbow bolts. Yeah, we see they are green-tipped. Awesome. And since we removed the shimmying obstacle, well, guess what? We can just shimmy all the way in. So, let me show you where this actually leads. And we should actually engage with corner shimmying. We really don't get enough of that in here, which is a huge shame. By in here, I mean the entirety of Tomb Raider 4. Usually it's just an optional gimmick. It's very rarely needed to continue, given that this is a new feature. They featured really prominently in the marketing before release of TR4. Okay guys, now a couple of things. The moment you start monkey swinging here, there is gonna be a swarm of locusts. There are two ways you can tackle it. I'm gonna show you the worst way and then the better way. First of all, whilst you're holding the bars, immediately get down and crouch. Okay. This should reduce the damage you're gonna take from these bastards. There we go. They will not always appear if you just hold this. Sometimes you need to hold the walk key and move left and right and then let go to really nudge them in. But if you want to avoid them altogether, which I can't recommend enough, make a running grabbing jump like this. The sound cue will now play, but the swarm of locusts will actually not appear in that case. But I wanted to show you that they are a real threat, you know? Okay, now around the corner over here, there is another real threat. Yay, and he drops a small medpack. Now, my friends, you will encounter your first main obstacle of the trenches level, and that's this door over here, which the remasters, and let me line up a flare here for that, at least had the decency to put a lock onto. The original didn't even have that, but here it is. I love this change. It actually telegraphs that you need a key.
No.
Lara disagrees, and you know what? She is right. You don't need a key. Let me show you an easy way to do a massive skip across the Cairo section, and I'm so amazed that this made it into the final game because it's so obvious, even more obvious than to actually look for the key. By the way, the key is in Chambers of Tulun, which we are also gonna cover in today's video, because I didn't just wanna leave you hanging. You can just make a running, grabbing jump, and congrats, you find yourself on the other side of the door. You can now continue, shoot the fuse box, prep up the bike and go, even without the Nitro Boost upgrade. But, you know, I don't want us to skip anything. We are after all the kills and goodies and achievements. So, down we go, and we're gonna play nice with this, maybe not too well designed level. Anywho, let's get the shotgun out. Oh, by the way, this slide over here is a way back from the Street Bazaar level, which is gonna be the next Cairo level, in theory. But we're still gonna have to backtrack to Chambers of Tulun before that. Yay! Little to no damage taken. Now, be fast, 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 and be ready to sprint across the mount. Okay, that was just a flesh wound. It's fine, because we were in the sights of a particularly annoying turret. Now, I just want to make sure we separate this, because you know how we like to take care of turrets now. And I'm gonna try to think of a safe way to make it across. Oh, that was perfect, Miss Croft. But why are you turning the wrong way? I don't know. Anywho, let's keep crouched, and behind the... I think these are supposed to be sandbags fitted in a wooden frame. Just to be absolutely sure, don't cut the corner diagonally. Hug the edges, or that thing might just lock onto you, and you'll have to then get all the way to the beginning, let it fire a few shots, and repeat the whole process, which of course costs precious drops of blood. Okay, and now you are safe. The turret doesn't know you are here, and it's over. Guys, 2 more turrets to take care of for the security breach achievement. Furthermore, this is a very easy pickup to miss in a dark corner. And an odd ledge to climb, really. But there are super grenades. This is the most precious of all pickups, even more so than the explosive crossbow bolts. By the way, can Lara climb like this? I'm holding action forward. Ah, she cannot. Huh, Lara's head cannot compute this kind of thin ledge as an auto climb. Interesting, okay. Nevertheless, guys, it's time to enter the titular trenches, and I'm gonna make a save here around the corner, because here we'll need to move around like absolute professionals to unlock with Khepri's help. So if you'll forgive me, this is the first and hopefully final save of the level. I'm gonna get real close to this one, but not close enough for it to touch us. Ooh, let's wait for the cycle to be more synchronized. The one behind is much shorter. Oh, that should work. Okay. And this bastard can enter his crouch rapid fire mode or even fire off a grenade. This time it seems we were lucky. We did take damage, but not from the steam. That's what's important for Khepri's help. Anyway, first of the 2 breakable vessels for the Oops achievement. And guys, we're gonna do something really cool. We find ourselves behind a turret. What's so cool about this is that we avoided an absolute death trap. If you were to walk across here, the turret will start its flamethrower mode and roast Lara alive. It's absolutely brutal. But this way, we gotta jump on that bastard. Let's take advantage of it, destroy the gas tank, and this soldier over here, be very careful where you aim, because if you aim at his upper torso, it will not work. For some reason, through this gap, only shooting at the legs works, you know? I used to be a soldier just like you, but then I took a bullet to the knee. I'm sorry, I just aged myself by a decade, probably. Okay, let's go a bit more far away, and I want a somersault in between the two. No, let's wait for the cycles to sink in again. Okay, and the first one should be shorter, and this should be our window of opportunity. Yay, we did it. Okay, awesome. The cycles get desynchronized, you just have to wait for them to sync up in a way that you want. By the way, mind the truck here. I have no idea how it got here. I love the added detail and the dangling car sign, the identification. Although, it used to dangle in the originals. See that? And now it's just static in the remasters. Come on, guys. Oh, that's just lame. Anywho. It looks better, but it doesn't move better, if that makes sense. Okay, let's somersault here, make it a bit forward. Okay, and my friends, we picked up what we came here for. So what is this? I kind of highlighted it to you back in Citadel Gate when Sergeant Azizas gave us all those billion instructions. This is a weapon code key. It's technically not necessary to progress through the game, however, that is if you just want to spam medpacks. But what it allows us is that every single turret we'll encounter from now on will consider us a friend, not a foe. It confuses the IFF system. The irony is that we just have one more turret to deal with. But if you didn't take care of the 2 turrets in the City of the Dead, for example, because it was too tricky, you can now come back with the weapon code key and they will not fire at you, making the whole affair much more easier. Okay? But that's not our case. So, I would just like to make one somersault and to position myself. Okay. By the way, keep in mind if you enter crouch, it nudges Lara a bit forward, so be careful. And yeah, that's it. With Khepri's help, sneak past the steam pipes without taking any damage. Now, there is a reason why this unlocks here, and that's because this steam pipe will cause unavoidable damage, but you can at least decrease it somewhat, depending on when you enter its steam cycle. And we might as well do it now. And see, even though we entered earlier, it wasn't enough time for us to completely avoid it. So this damage is unfortunately unavoidable, which makes it feel cheap. Anyway, get that shotgun ready. There be a soldier here. Oh, Lara likes to aim at the turret, which is very unfortunate. Nevertheless, keep the shotgun ready. Step here. As gonna be another one. Yep. There we go. Ah, barely a scratch on us. This is excellent. Well, no, almost half of our health bar is over, but given the unavoidable damage we were exposed to, I'd say that's pretty good. Now you have to jump here, but this is the second box for the Oops achievement, again with a goodie. Something far better than white shots. Although technically not in my playthrough, but at least I see the value in medpacks. Anywho, this truck over here, with a poor dead soldier sticking outside of it, this crack in the wall over here is supposed to draw attention here. If you have the action indicators enabled, you will see one here. Using our trusty Desert Railroad crowbar, we are gonna get our hands on... oh, watch this. a pipe. Yes, my friends. We did all this for a bloody pipe, which we can combine with the nitrous oxide canister and turn it into feeder, but I'm gonna do that in Chambers of Tulun when we upgrade our bike. Now guys, because we are carrying this weapon code key, this turret is not firing at us, but it is still... Lara, what are you doing? Turning at us, which is gonna make taking it down a bit tricky, but not impossible as the security breach achievement hits. So we can get our gun out already, or maybe, you know what, no, let's put it away. And you want to run into it until it turns its back to you. That's perfect, and now let's aim at the canister. And my friends, security breach is ours. See, it's really no biggie. Now you can shimmy all the way back, or I can also show you a shortcut like this. And that's it. We are done with the trenches part of the trenches level, but not with the trenches level. Does that make sense? I hope so. So thankfully this dip wasn't too long, which is why I don't mind it too much. Anywho, let's safety drop out of here. Okay, and now guys, now that we have both the valve and the nitrous oxide feeder, what we need to do, really, is just use our bike in the Chambers of Tulun level, which is where I'm headed now, and it's the reason why I'm headed all the way back to the beginning. But first we need to upgrade the bike, but that's exactly where I'm gonna show it to you. For now, I would very much like to check the statistics. Miss Croft, you really control like a tank sometimes. Let's turn this thing around. I'm gonna save the game. And now, let us see what the final statistics will say. So my friends, the first dip through the trenches level, we got our hands on all 13 goodies, raising the total to 457. We killed 12 enemies, 3 of them turrets, which do not count for the in-game kill count, so 9 is at least the increase we see to 264. No secrets in the trenches level, and we broke its 2 breakable vessels for the Oops achievement, plus some extra breakables as per the turrets or the shimmying obstacle. But there's so much more to do here once we get our hands on the roof key in the Chambers of Tulun, or you can use the roof shortcut jump I showed you to continue your adventure and just ditch Chambers of Tulun altogether. I leave that up to you. Just remember, Buried With Me achievement where you need to get your hands on all goodies. Okay guys, so we're gonna go back and wrap up business in Chambers of Tulun. Okay guys, so I'd like to welcome you to the Chambers of Tulun revisit part of the video, where we are gonna scoop up everything we missed during our first visit. That means 4 goodies, raising the total to 461, plus 1 torch, which in the remasters don't count as a pickup, unfortunately. We're also gonna land 3 remaining kills, raising the total to 267. We already got our hands on these levels 2 secrets before, so nothing will change there. And we are gonna destroy the remaining 6 breakable objects, 5 of which count towards the Oops achievement, so at the end of this visit, we should see the vessels broken at 143. Okay guys, no other achievements or anything else to think of. This is a wrap-up episode. But the cool thing is that even if you didn't take care of the mechanical Minotaur, in this part of the Chambers of Tulun that we will navigate with our soon-to-be upgraded bike, he will leave you alone. He cannot get here, just like you cannot get to that part with the bike, okay? But we took care of the bastard, hilariously so, but it didn't increase our kill count, which is the only disadvantage to that. Anywho, I thought this is a good place to leave the bike. Maybe let's go a little bit further. Oh, okay, Lara. Now you're happy to disembark? Good. I just didn't want to go over the edge and fall to our doom. So my friends, I talked about this before, but this is where I'm actually going to show it to you. Now that we have the valve and the nitrous oxide canister, we're going to combine these to nitrous oxide feeder. You have to manually approach the bike and not press the action key. Lara's just gonna mount it. You have to open your inventory and use nitrous oxide feeder and use. This is how it works. Lara will put it there. Notice, however, it will not disappear from your inventory, so you can keep doing this over and over and over in case you enjoy longer bike mounting animation for whatever reason. Anywho, Lara automatically enters the bike, and now if you hold action and the sprint key, you can see the sprint gauge This is the nitro boost from the bike that needs to recharge just like Lara's stamina when sprinting. Anywho guys, the door over here automatically opened. Well, this guy opened it, but you get the drift. He was like a headless chicken, poor guy. Something confused the living hell out of him. Anywho, my friends, whilst we have the shotgun out, I would recommend making it down here. There's another soldier we need to take care of. Excellent. Okay, let's get up. I'll explain to you in a moment what is it we're trying to accomplish. Oh, actually, whilst we have the shotgun out, let me take care of a third soldier in this dark room over here, and then I'll explain to you the gist. Yay! By the way, notice how the shotgun has a certain rate of fire, but you can speed things up along if you roll in between firings. Lara will fire a bit earlier during that recovery than she should. It's really interesting, and I'm taking full advantage of it in this playthrough. Anywho guys, I want to explain a couple of things. In this room over here, you can see a crate hanging on a hook. This will be fed into the conveyor belt with a flap. Behind the flap is this storage area, so the crate's gonna fall here, we'll climb it, and we'll be able to reach the ledge here. This is our objective with plenty of breakables and the roof key we need for the trenches level. In order to do that, we need to do something that I was so proud that I figured out on my own as a kid without a walkthrough back in the day. Actually, I finished this game really late. I was a teenager already, so nowhere near when it released. And that's, we need to trigger the fire sprinkle system, because these things just stood out to me so much. And this door marked with the orange stripes is a fire system door that's gonna open up on its own when we trigger it. So we just need to find any source of fire. And remember, during our first visit through the chambers of Tulun, we were actually here. This ladder leads to the street. We were able to climb it, go all the way down, kick the door over here down, and kill the soldier that would have been harassing us. Now, if you didn't do it, you're gonna encounter the bastard here, so you will not miss anything. But he was guarding the only source of fire we need for this puzzle. Okay, guys? I actually quite like it. One thing that really disappoints me, though, is this door over here. This should have been the perfect secret, but it isn't. I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. Via triggering the fire alarm system, we're gonna open the orange striped door over there. Let's take one step back. We no longer need the torch, by the way, it even douses itself. This opens all the fire exit door. And you can also use this to get out. This is the same door we entered from when we reached the bike. This was the slope down. This door was closed. It now leads to a lever that will enable us to access the storage room via the crate on the conveyor belt. There we go. Couldn't be easier. I actually don't know if the sprinklers are on a timer or if they shut themselves off when you touch the lever. It always seems to end up that way, but that could just be a huge coincidence. Anywho, guys. The door that also opened up is at the very bottom next to the source of fire. It's the door at the very end of this corridor. Why is this empty and not a secret? But hey, it's all worth it. The remasters added a light bulb. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'd be lying if I said I remember whether or not there is a medpack on New Game Plus. It's been actually forever since I finished that mode on PS4. And I want to finish this playthrough first before I'll start practicing for New Game Plus video on PS5 and GOG. But I will definitely be checking it out if there's finally a purpose to that room. But I just seem to remember this nasty taste of disappointment. We'll see. Anywho, guys, let's climb up here and make it into the storage. Where if you love the crunchy sound of breakable objects, you're gonna love this. And almost every crate, well, 3 out of 5, have something in them. Small medpack, normal crossbow bolts. Okay, honestly, this loot kind of sucks. And there's one small crate for which you need to crouch. Please don't be white shots. Oh yeah, white shots, great. And the others, yeah, these ones are steel reinforced. You cannot even destroy them with explosives or anything like that. These are like the bronze vases we've seen in Karnak. Anywho, guys, you can use laser sights, but honestly, I find this works better if you just use pistols. If you're struggling with this lock, use Uzis with a rapid fire. It's gonna be even easier if you don't mind wasting a little bit of ammo. And over here, a niche with the roof key we need for the trenches, or as I've shown you, you don't need at all, but of course we want to explore everything thoroughly. Okay, and now we just gotta get out. Easy, right? So this is how we wrap up Chambers of Tulun, nothing more to it. We need to get to our bike, and even though we'll need to revisit the Citadel Gate level in the future, we don't ever need to do that through the Chambers of Tulun. We'll access it through the Trenches level. Yeah, this place is an absolute maze. It's both impressive and annoying how connected it all is. Okay, I think it's gonna be faster if I try to turn this around like this. Jean is not gonna mind a few scratches. We're here to rescue him. And there we go, my friends. The Chambers of Tulun should just about be wrapped up. So let me save here. And I'm gonna show you the stat screen, just to be sure we got everything. So, we increased our pickups count by 4, which is excellent, to 461. We also increased our kill count by 3 to 267. Nothing as far as secrets are concerned, we already got those during our first visit. And as for vessels broken, we wanted to see the number of 143, that means 5 breakable vessels for the Oops achievement, and we wrapped everything up in the Chambers of Tulun. Okay guys, so one final part to today's video, I'm gonna show you what is it exactly we were trying to achieve with the roof key in the Trenches level. Alrighty guys, welcome to the final part of the video and the second visit to the Trenches level. I probably don't even need to show you the statistics for this, but all we gotta do here is to break one breakable object not tied to any achievement or anything and make progress and headway with the bike and set ourselves up for an entrance into the Street Bazaar level, which will be a subject of the next video. Okay guys, so let's get to it. We are in a good shape with an upgraded bike, which is an absolute joy. But we are only gonna really enjoy this upgrade for one jump, which is nothing to write home about, but it's still pretty damn satisfying to pull it off. Okay, so Miss Croft, please dismount the bike, please exit the vehicle, miss. And now we need to get all the way to the rooftop so that I can demonstrate what the rooftop key is used for, and you know what that means. Yeah, a little bit more shimming. I hope you have the patience for it. But there's a fuse box will break in it for you. Yeah, what a price. I know. Not the most exciting of visits. But really, I feel it suits it better if this is all encompassed in one video. Everything you do in the trenches before entering the Street Bazaar are really... It's a chapter of the Cairo level, and I wanted to dedicate an entire video to it and not split it with Chambers of Tulun and revisiting this place earlier. Anyway, let me guys know what you think. But I like to keep it like this up. Also, come to think of it, when we exited the trenches for the first time, I didn't really show you our achievement progress or anything, but I'm gonna do that here before we enter the Street Bazaar, because we're just really wrapping things up nicely here. Okay, and now, I don't think we can unlock the door from the other side, so let's do it properly, and let's monkey swing and cross to the side with the lock. This time we will not be harassed by locusts or any soldiers, and our health bar has of course refilled via transitioning through these areas, which honestly feels incredibly dirty and cheap. I wish they'd disable that for New Game Plus. Anywho, let's enter the key and find ourselves where we would have anyway. Yeah, not particularly exciting. By the way, the brick wall looks really good, but it might make it a bit more difficult to see the exact outlines of what's climbable into or grabbable, but you don't need to climb into this at all. I don't know why they made it climbable into, since you just gotta shim it to the side, but anyway, it is what it is. And now I think I would like to not waste a revolver shot for this. Okay, and we have normal ammo equipped. Excellent. Mischievous music, although not sure why in this situation. Let's lean against the wall here. And what's easiest, you need to hit a particular part of the fuse box. Don't hit the red button, it will not work. Try to hit the upper part of the fuse box. Awesome, you can see this faint smoke coming out of it. that means you've succeeded. And what I really hate about the level design here is that the game, again, does not even have the decency to show you what you've achieved. So I will do that. What you achieved, oh, we park the bike nicely, is this wooden panel over here has finally lifted, and now with an upgraded bike we can make the jump through the sandy slope, okay? Pay close attention to the cutscene here. There should also be part of the sand falling down, and this is actually good design, which will enable you to get up onto that slope even if you leave the bike at the top of it. Ooh, excellent. We can dismount during the cutscene since we have full control. And you might be thinking, my god, Zolgaris, what did you do? How are we gonna get up? Well, see, this block over here is exactly what dropped from the ramp when we touched it with the weight of the bike. You could have got a glimpse of that happening inside the cutscene. So now, even without the bike, you can always access this place, just like this. It's a bit of an awkward jump, but nothing too terrible. Okay? Now guys, there's still one kill and lots and lots of breakables all happening behind the door over here, because this contains... you can't really see it, but behind the wall on the right there's the minefield Sergeant Azizas talked about, and each mine I consider a breakable object. You know me. They'll make the lovely crunchy noise. But anywho, that's gonna be the subject of the next video, because it's kind of self-contained in the Street Bazaar level, which we're gonna navigate through and back and forth in between the trenches via new connections you probably couldn't even imagine. Anywho guys, this is where I'm gonna save the game for today's video, and I'm gonna show you the stat screen yet again. So my friends, we are at 461 pickups, 267 kills, 59 secrets, 143 breakable vessels for the Oops achievement. All we achieved during our second visit through the trenches is just break that fuse box, which I count as a breakable object outside of the Oops achievement. I showed you how to unlock with Khepri's help. Security breach is also done since we finished off the final 3 turrets for the overall number of 7. So we are as good and ready as we can be for the Street Bazaar, where also the story is gonna move along a little. So guys, thank you so much for being here with me, and before I say farewell, I want to say thanks to my absolutely amazing patrons. Plangupal, Mick, Severin Drax, Enstickle, Katie Danger, Poo2, Basic Bryony, and Bino. Thank you guys so much for being my loyal Winstons and for not giving us a parking ticket today for all of Lara's bike shenanigans. Next, I would like to say big thanks to my caretaker Winstons, Michael McConkey, Karavetu, Renegade Durney, Blanket Fox, Jonathan Jones, Dick DeBee, and PD92. Thank you guys so much for your support of the channel, and also for making Lara go through all the fire drills to the nearest safe exit, preventing her from turning into Bacon Lara today. I would also like to give special thanks to my brave veteran Winstons, Andrea Paviglianiti, Alexander, and Richard Dearman. Thank you so much for your valiant support of the channel, and also for digging the actual trenches for the Egyptian army against Seth's apparitions. Your defenses were in fact so good, they even gave Lara trouble. And finally, I would like to give one very special thanks to my one and only fine vintage Winston, Akira Fox Mine. Thank you so much for your long and very generous support of the channel. It really helps keeping me going. And also, thank you for using all that time locked up in Lara's freezer for tinkering with her quad bike. You have developed all sorts of new cooling liquids and performance increasing agents, and therefore upgrading Jean-Yves' bike today for you was no trouble at all. This will really help give us the extra punch, like Sergeant Aziza said, to really dominate the rest of the Cairo section. And on a final note, I'd like to say thanks to my free Patreon members, as well as to each and every one of you for making it to the end of the video. It really helps. And also, thank you all for your patience. I know the rate of me producing these videos has slowed down in the recent weeks, and that's because for the past 4 weekends I haven't had free time to dedicate to them. I was constantly traveling, so I had to scramble and do it during work days, very early in the morning, very late in the evening, which slowed me down significantly. Furthermore, I don't want to record these when I'm tired, I only want to record these when I feel fresh, energized and happy, so that it translates into the videos themselves. Hopefully that makes sense. Nevertheless guys, 3 weekends ahead. Finally, I've been waiting for this, so I want to finish the entire Cairo chapter in the next 3 videos in September. We'll see how we'll be doing, but I'm putting this challenge on myself, and then we'll have the entire October and potentially first 2 weeks of November to wrap up Giza section and Tomb Raider 4 Remastered. And then I'll have to work on the New Game Plus video and Christmas videos. Oh boy, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Anyway guys, thank you so much for your patience. I'm gonna start working on the next Cairo video immediately, and until I'll see you again, I wanna wish all of you happy raiding.